and we'll start heading up. Hello everybody, this is a Power Trip cast. I am Ty, aka Tryhard Teammate, and with me is my co-caster Cam.
Hello.
Alright, we have a RD2L scrim between Team The and Amplified. These two captains were former teammates in the last season, so let's see how they do against each other.
Dire team ban.
So since last season, the metagame has changed quite a bit. So I don't know. We see a Ember Spirit ban, which is pretty popular.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise. So Cam, do you remember anything about these captains, Fiery Snake and Sweet Kissing? Actually, NSD looks like to be the drafter, even though Sweet Kissing's the captain.
Well, that's perfectly fine, but yeah, worth noting. You probably know more about Sweet Kissing than I do, considering you faced on mid more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
Fire Snake was the carry player
10 seconds
for... Oh god, I forgot their team, literally.
It was Team Pussywagon.
That's right. Team Pussywagon, who, a little bit of unsure of himself, a little bit kind of, you know, timid, but as he gets older, hopefully that'll change, but no disrespect.
He's trying to captain a team. It's respectable. Let's say.
10 seconds
and we have Sweet Kissing, who was the mid player for.
5 seconds remaining.
And I faced him a bunch because we had that situation where we would either face one or the other team, right? Like over and over again. And Sweet Kissing plays a solid mid. I think he likes Templar Assassin a lot, which isn't first pick or first ban material. So let's see. They go with yeah. Go ahead.
Radiant team.
That is Age Apparition, pretty much the premier support at the moment.
I agree. It's really strong and has severe consequences if you underestimate the Chilling Touch damage.
Chilling Touch will win your tri lane. The ult literally means no mech for 11 seconds. You just or 10, 11, 12
10
seconds.
seconds remaining.
Or 8, 9, 10 rather. Jesus.
There's a
5
ton of
seconds remaining.
combos that you can team with AA, since he can gank from anywhere on the map without putting himself at risk. So maybe we see a Nyx or an Invoker or I don't know, Clockwork. There's a lot of options.
Many options.
Yeah. And Fiery Snake letting his reserve time tick down a bit. That's kind of thinking. I know he's been practicing a lot of drafting and just draft simulators and to get that experience. But we'll see how that goes.
I do feel there are many heroes, like Batrider is what I was going to suggest. Just, you know, there's a lot of good heroes right now that are free to pick up if they go AA. He can grab the Nyx. He can't grab the Invoker, unfortunately, but he grabbed Bat, which I think he should do.
Now, Batrider has some pretty common counters, namely, like their support counters, but AA isn't one of them, so... Ooh, he goes with the Treant Protector, which has been really popular with Evil Geniuses and IG in particular, I think. How do you feel about Treant Protector this early?
Little surprised, but it actually does some good work because I believe it will stop the ticking down from the Frostbite debuff.
That is true, it does. But
it won't heal, but it will block it. So it makes things a lot harder, especially because it now gives them some global presence in response to AA's global presence. So AA can't really snipe anybody unless Living Armor's down, realistically.
Yeah. It also gives a lot of protection from teams that don't have the ability to push down a tower like from full health to nothing, because then the towers just are protected from getting chipped down over time. And Amplified go with a Doom, and I thought they might go with the other support that counters the Batrider, like a Venge or a Shadow Demon, but Doom's a very strong hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Not particularly strong against Batrider or Treant Protector. At least that's how I feel. But it is very flexible. You can play him mid. You can have him as a jungle support or as a carry. So
Doom also shuts down a lot of heroes out of the pool. Storm's really not an option unless you go for a certain build. Weaver's not really an option unless you go for the fast Lincolns. Like Huck's sketchier. Just everything's a little more sketchier pick-wise, and it kind of helps them really shape Team The's draft.
Yeah.
Team ban.
So it seems that Amplified think that the Batrider's going mid, or at least they want to push it in that direction, perhaps, by banning the Centaur.
Centaur just kind of really showed up recently. He's been around for a long time, but suddenly he's the offlaner, or the support even.
He's always been good. It's just that people were struggling to find, I think, a good fit for him, or like a good set of heroes that he's good playing with and playing against. And then once he showed up, I think a lot of people were willing to experiment with him more. So they go with a Nyx ban, which I think is a pretty smart ban, since it does pair well with the Ancient Apparition.
Makes kills very easy.
Yeah, and it's also really yeah, because Nyx just finds you in the jungle and then waits for AA to fire his ult down and then pops you down with it.
Nyx's problem has always kind of been he can get people to about 15% before they can sort of walk away. Not a problem with AA.
They're banning more offlaners. Well, Morana's also a kind of early game carry also.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think that's the type of hero Fiery Snake plays. I think Fiery Snake's a big fan of the really late game heroes, the melee ones like Phantom Lance. I don't know about Phantom Lance, but I think he's a big fan of Anti-Mage. And I think Lycan too. I'm not sure though. But actually he banned out the Lycan himself, so maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how this goes. It's kind of everyone's picking nothing really unusual right now. Bans are.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me 3 months ago, these would be one of the weirder bans I've seen. But
yeah.
Nowadays, these bans are pretty standard.
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember that these teams are also getting a feel for themselves, right? Like they haven't played with each other that much, and they'll learn. They'll figure out a style, and it seems like Fire Snake really like this EG combination of Dazzle with Treant Protector. I believe that's the combination of choice for. Also, I think IG like that combination as well, right?
Haven't seen too much IG lately. Been kind of busy, but sure. I mean, it really does make it pretty much the point where AA ult's going to be hard to kill somebody unless they get actually focused. But on the other hand, Team The has to focus that person in order for them not to get killed by AA ult. So.
It's also an insanely strong defensive tri-lane. It's really difficult to kill anyone who's getting leech seeded and poison touched, but also getting healed from living armor and shadow wave. And Amplified go for a Shadow Shaman.
Just a good support, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a little bit. Gives you a little bit of a push, and it gives you also that ability to take down a tower immediately, like we said that they may need.
Right, because there's really two ways to deal with the Batrider ult when you're trying to push. Because one is to, make it so Bat can't just blink in ult and drag you, and the other way is to immediately drop the tower. And if Shadow Shaman's played correctly, it really can be both. People forget about Hex canceling, but it is a thing. You just cast your Hex on the enemy hero, and then when he blinks in, your hero immediately casts Hex as soon as he's in range. So if he plays his cards right, he can break that lasso to the point of nothing every time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
If not, he can just drop the wards and book it.
So far, we see Fiery Snake's hero choice. It's a Slardar, going for some early to mid game damage. Slardar is extremely powerful.
10 seconds remaining.
And also, I think he might be pretty good against Doom, because if he has Sprint on and Doom dooms you, you can just book it. So,
they also have the Slar Dazzle, as I call it. So lots of minus are going around. Dazzle's really going to start hurting fights.
Yeah. this team's probably looking to make a quick medallion with this minus armor strat because I think, yeah, once your armor goes negative, it's actually really, it amps up really quickly. Is that right?
Kind of. It looks like we got Luna now.
Alright, that's another little bit more push. Get that aura. Overall, good team fight. Also, it's also really gives you some security for the late game.
10 seconds remaining.
So the way the negative armor is calculated in Dota 2, it's very it's kind of weird because basically at minus 10 armor, it's 37% more damage.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to like minus 20, it's only 54%. So at some point, the diminishing returns do start to kill you. And at negative 20, it's basically it's not awful because at 25, it's 60% more damage. But as it's always been, you don't really want too much minus armor. But it will especially help counteract any armor you might gain from Nick, any armor you might gain from Shivas, which Doom's known to pick up, or AC, anything like that.
I mean, it's also they get a lot of minus armor really early. I mean, Weave at level 1 goes up to what, 14 or something like that? Or is it 12?
It's 0.75 armor for 24 seconds. So
okay. So, yeah, it's like something
18.
like you'll have something above 10 for a good portion of the duration. I think Slardar's minus armor is minus 8 at level 1. Actually, I can just look.
It's 10 now. Oh,
it's 10 now? Okay, yeah. So you can get it to in the minus teens really early into the game.
Yep.
So we see a TA from team from Amplified, seeing how they see the minus armor strat, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for a Shadow Fiend because you have Radiant side, you have a minus armor strat. Seems to work fine. And Team The looked to ban the Clockwork, which I guess would fit their lineup.